So imagine a future where you don't have to work a job you don't enjoy. You might choose to work, but you'll be doing it on your own terms and you have the investments to cover your needs and live a life on your own terms. Now, this is the textbook definition of retirement. But if you're like many of the people I work with, you don't necessarily want to wait until you're 70 to get there. So in this video, we're going to break down a real life case study where I will go through a comprehensive financial plan of a couple in their 30s who together make over $400,000 per year. And I'm going to share with you the options and levers that we pulled for their financial plan to help them save for and buy a home, reduce their current and future tax liability, and set up a plan for them to retire early. And as you're watching this, feel free to steal these strategies and concepts for your own financial plan. If we haven't met yet, my name is Matt. I'm a certified financial planner and advisor at 1 Degree Advisors. And on this channel, I make videos to help you reach work optional. Okay, so let's jump into the details. This is Jack and Janice, and I changed their names for privacy, of course, but there are a few assumptions that we should be looking at. So first off, Jack is age 38 and Janice is age 37, and they are both currently working full-time. They have assets of around $429,000, which consists of $200,000 in cash. Again, they're saving for a home, hence the reason for all the cash. $30,000 in a brokerage account, $120,000 in a rollover IRA, $50,000 combined in 401ks, and also a Roth IRA with about $28,000 in it. They have no debt other than the credit cards that they pay off each month. So now let's move into their cash flow. So one of their main goals they told us was to purchase a home, save taxes, and not work until age 70. And I want to emphasize that the least fun part when it comes to finances is usually the most important place to start, which is why we started by looking at their cash flow. In school, they teach you PEMDAS in math class, the order of operations for solving an algebra equation, but they don't have a mathematical equation for the best order to invest and save your money. However, the good news is that there is a framework that I use with my clients called a reverse budget, and I will share with you exactly how we used it to optimize their cash flow. So let's take a closer look at how we built their reverse budget. And one of the strategies we propose involves examining their finances from two different lenses. Firstly, this couple, we came up with a plan for them to live within the confines of their base salaries. Secondly, they would use their bonuses towards their biggest financial goals. Here's a breakdown of how we accomplish this. Jack earns a salary of approximately $150,000 per year, excluding his bonus, while Janice earns about $95,000 per year, again, excluding her bonus. From their combined income, they will be paying an estimated $48,000 in taxes, which includes federal and FICA tax. They have a rent of around $3,000 a month, and they're maxing out their retirement plans and also contributing an extra $1,000 a month towards their brokerage account. This leaves them with approximately $89,000 to cover their living expenses. We've essentially reverse engineered all other expenses into this figure right here, hence why we call it a reverse budget. They set all of these expenses on autopilot and then live on the rest. And we find this approach is beneficial for several reasons. Firstly, it encourages them to live within their means after accounting for savings, taxes, and debt. Secondly, it's actually a great form of risk management because they don't want to overextend themselves when it comes to their future home purchase and putting all that pressure on themselves for Jack to get his bonus every year. So let's now look at the strategy for their bonuses, and I'll pull this up right here. And a lot of you watching this may actually have RSUs, restricted stock units, or you receive bonuses or commissions. And the framework we're discussing can also be applied to manage that aspect of your finances as well. So let's look at their bonus cash flow, and we looked at it slightly different here. So if we're looking at their cash flow from a bonus standpoint, he's estimated to receive $200,000 in bonuses, and Janice $5,000 in bonuses. And of that bonus, after taxes, they let us know they want to give more to charity. So what we did there was set up a donor advised fund so they can have a single tax deduction up front and allow them to take their time and decide where the funds should go. We also put a large chunk of that towards buying a house, and also making sure we're getting the most out of life and setting aside money into their travel fund. And after looking at this, they had a lot of confidence in their cash flow, and we're able to have a solid direction for them to work towards, and we'll get to exactly how this looks as we project this out to the future. But first, let's briefly touch on our tax strategy. As far as taxes goes, we looked at their situation and estimated they would save approximately $14,500 in taxes each year if they were to max out their 401ks with pre-tax dollars. Over a 10-year period, that is over $145,000 in taxes saved. But of course, some years we will also evaluate for potential Roth conversions, especially during like low income tax years. So now let's see how all this cash flow and tax planning we're doing today might help with their goal of early retirement in the future. Now here's Jack and Janice's financial plan and what it looks like visually when we run the numbers. Now, as you can see, each one of these bars is a year of their lives. So next year they will be age 39 and 38, and their investable assets are going to be around $600,000. There are a few assumptions that we should factor in here. We're estimating a hypothetical investment rate of return of 7%, along with a higher inflation factor here of about 3.75%. And we add in that higher inflation number just to add an extra layer of conservative numbers into this. And you should know that we are having that expense grow at that inflation rate as well over time. Now, over time, if they continue to max out their 401ks, save just a little bit of their bonuses, their plan actually looks pretty solid. But of course, as mentioned at the beginning, they are not the type to want to go the conventional route and work until age 70. So although this looks really good on paper, they want to see what it looks like if they took the unconventional route of early retirement, and if they still can do so by buying a $700,000 home today. So let me show you how we tested their goals and look at how these strategies play out. Again, we looked at what would happen if they followed the traditional retirement path, working and managing their money as usual, and at first glance, things seemed pretty solid. But we started by discussing how much house could they afford without relying too heavily on Jack's bonuses. So we ran the numbers on a $700,000 home with 20% down and a 7% interest rate and about $10,000 a year in property taxes. This added up to a bit over $4,300 in monthly housing costs, which was roughly 20% of their income if Jack had no bonus. And that seemed to work really well for their plan. But here's where it gets a little bit interesting. We also have to factor in their goal of retiring early. So we ran the numbers for them to retire at age 60 and 59, and suddenly the picture didn't look quite as rosy. Their finances would still last until age 95, but it started to feel a little bit too close for comfort for them. So we did a little experiment. If we assume that each year Jack saves 50% of his bonuses and put it into investments, like the bonus strategy we talked about earlier, the picture brightens up pretty considerably. Early retirement began to look like a real possibility. And the big lesson here was if they opted for a reasonably priced home that they loved and lived within their regular salaries, they could use those bonuses to build up wealth, still enjoy those annual vacations, making early retirement a genuine option. And after going through this, they felt a lot more in control. They felt like they weren't over saving and still able to get the most out of their life. And they get one step closer to early retirement. Again, this is Matt. I am a certified financial planner and advisors at 1 Degree Advisors. So I hope you found some value in this. And if you are interested in working with me or someone at our firm, click the link below and you can schedule a free call to talk with us or me about your situation. Or you can also like this video, share it, subscribe. That way I can continue to make these videos right here on YouTube for free. I will catch you guys on the next one.